Welcome back to another episode of Popcorn Fodder. Pew, 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 pew. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. And basically, look at this series as water cooler chat after the weekend where, we check in with each other and are like, oh my gosh, did you see the latest episode of Me, whatever that show is? And maybe down the line we should review shows. But for now, the series will only be addressing the movies that we saw over the festive season. But yeah, a show, while we're on the topic of shows, a show that I highly recommend everyone watch is The Brothers Sun. Ugh, I really enjoyed it. Each episode is an hour long and it's 8 episodes. It has, the main lady is the mother from Everywhere, All the Time, All at Once, or whatever that show is. Whatever that movie was, that was also really fantastic. And the two main male characters, the brothers, they were fantastic as well. They really played their roles well. I think it was really nice and wholesome, but also really action-packed and really good. So if you don't like watching movies and prefer shows, something you can really, dig your heels into, then The Brothers Sun, highly recommend it. Another show that I recommend is Black Earth Rising. The lead character is Michaela Cole, and it's the story around the Rwandan genocide, but it really takes an interesting take on everything, criticizing the ICC, and also kind of reflecting how, no one really walks out of such situations clean, right? That history will definitely tell you that, one group was the bad guy and the other group, were just victims. But how, the situation is obviously a lot more nuanced than that, and also doesn't shy away from also implicating the French and the British and their involvement in all of that, and how having the UN troops, might not have been the life-saving endeavor that it was meant to be, and that in fact it did help, but they were obviously individuals with their own personal intention, personal motives and stuff. I'm going down a rabbit hole here. But basically, I highly recommend it if you're interested in African history and want to see it dramatized and, looked at through a really interesting lens. Then I highly recommend you watch Black Earth Rising. Every episode is so intense and so and Michaela Cole, oh my gosh. If you don't know Michaela Cole is from Chewing Gum and from I May Destroy You. So yeah, she's made of good stuff. Anyway, I've rambled on enough. But as you can tell, I really do enjoy good media, and who knows, every intro I will talk about a TV show that I highly recommend. Both of the shows that I mentioned now can be found on Netflix. But maybe I will, start the intros with just other shows that I can recommend. But for now, we are going to be discussing a thriller / horror / something movie called Thanksgiving. So sit back, relax, and listen to my brother and I chat about it. Alrighty. Okay. So we are now talking about Thanksgiving. The horror, is it a horror?
Slasher, I would say.
Yeah, like a thriller type, slasher type movie type thing.
This is how you get cancelled.
Yes. It is very much how people get cancelled. Yeah, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it is kind of like a I don't know how to categorize it, but the point
I'll
is,
definitely say a thriller because I didn't feel necessarily scared for my safety, but I felt scared for their safety.
perhaps,
Not
yeah.
fully.
So my situation. Do you want to just jump into it? Actually, please give us a synopsis of the movie, because we didn't do that for the previous one. So please give us a synopsis of the movie. Thanksgiving.
When was that? Okay.
Started.
Okay, well, I don't know the actors' names.
Oh.
I've kind of forgotten.
Who does?
The guy is from Grey's Anatomy, though.
Yeah.
I know that for
I
sure.
think he's McDreamy.
Yes, and then he left Grey's Anatomy because his contract ended. But
McSteamy.
he was killed off, I believe.
McDonald's.
Okay, anyway, so in general plot, it's basically about Black Friday.
Oh yeah, that happened.
It's held on Black Friday, and the story ultimately, well, spoiler alert, because
Oh yeah, obviously.
my
Don't listen to a movie review thing and expect for us to review the trailer.
yeah, there's a review for a reason.
I mean,
Review.
Camion.
Not a first view. But anyway.
Yeah, it's an epilogue, not a prologue. Okay. Yes.
Anyway, so
Black Friday.
It takes place on it takes place the day before Black Friday, on Thanksgiving, and the store manager or store owner, instead of closing the store for Thanksgiving and opening it the next day, he decides to open it early, midnight, or in the late hours of Thanksgiving. So so yeah, and in doing so,
Chaos ensues.
Yeah, chaos ensues because his kids and her friends decide to fuck around and find out, causing everybody to lose some shit. And a few people died.
Yeah, they're losing more than just shit. Wow, they're losing their lives.
Well, the people that wanted shit, not losing anything. The people that didn't want anything to involved in this, trying to run away, they died. Oh, in such gruesome ways too.
Yeah.
Except for the one guy, he lost his arm. He broke his arm. But the others, oh goodness! Imagine being sculpted after you died.
By a trolley.
Of all things.
A whole entire trolley.
Because somebody wanted a flat screen TV and an air fryer.
Yeah.
So yeah, and so that happens, and then a year later, there's a murderer on the loose the day before Black Friday, killing everybody on Thanksgiving. So yeah, and now you have to find out who is the killer. It's giving very much Scream,
Scary movie vibes. Because honestly, at the beginning of the movie, we were trying to figure out, is this the real thriller/horror, or is this a parody film?
True.
Because also, it moved so quickly. Like, usually with most horrors and thrillers, like, they spend a considerable amount of time with, like, world building, setting up the scene, explaining, or not explaining, but, like, showing the dynamics between the different characters, like, little things like that. You know what I mean?
Even adding some town lore.
Exactly. All of that stuff, like, really setting the scene. Instead, like, the movie starts, Jiggy, someone's going to dinner. Jiggy, sebale shopong. Jiggy, honale bana ba jaifang ka koloi. Klar. There's a stampede. There's a woman being scalped. There's a guy whose arm is now doing all the gang signs at the same time. There's someone else whose neck is, whatever. Like, it just happened so quickly. And even when you get to the end of the movie and you kind of figure out who the killer is and why he did it, there's not even the slightest inkling that these two people ever, like the person that he was actually trying to avenge, I was like, I even forgot about that hoe, first of all. Second of all, there was nothing to really say that there was anything special about the relationship or anything that was going towards it. I don't know. Anyway.
There's no real hint.
Yeah, which I mean, I guess works well for the movie, because then the ending is a bit of a surprise, quote unquote, but like you'd called it pretty early in the movie, because you're saying he's the only one who knows everyone.
And is alive.
Yes. Even though like there were other people that you could have suspected because of like all the different loopholes and stuff. But yeah, it was a bit predictable in that sense. Because I was expecting more. You know what I mean? I was expecting it to be like a smart type movie, or even just someone who was making a political statement against Thanksgiving and the greed and the fact that the whole town, in a sense, was guilty for what happened, right? Instead, it's just some guy who's mad over a girl he had a crush on. Do you get what I mean?
A girl that was cheating on her. Oh, wow. A girl that was cheating on her husband to be with him.
Yeah.
And then claiming that I will leave my husband soon to be with you.
Yeah, and she's pregnant. Also,
oh, yeah,
surprise. Is it really his kid if she's sleeping with both of them?
Well, we'll not find out now. She wasn't alive long enough.
I guess. Anyway, so, yeah, I don't know. There wasn't much really going on in the movie. It had moments that were scary, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh.
So I have a thing about, like, especially gross things. So if it's like, for example, like a jump scare or ghosts and shit like that, like, I'm fine. But when it's like someone, like, you know, in the movie The Quiet Place, when there's that nail on the step.
You can just tell it's going to become a problem.
Exactly. And then the first person goes and they miss the nail. And you're like, oh, thank you, Jesus. And then finally somebody and stuff like that. I can see it with my eyes, but I have to block my ears. I can't hear the sound.
Squelching.
Exactly. You know? So there were definitely a lot of moments like that where, you know, I was just like, oh my gosh, like, obviously. And you see it in the trailer as well. The knife in the trampoline.
Oh, that one.
That one was terrible.
Gruesome.
Oh my gosh. And the fact that it didn't even go straight through her leg, it kind of scraped her on the side. It was like peeling her foot, the first one.
And then the other one kind of went through her heel.
Yeah.
Very beautiful.
It's really unfortunate. Yeah, but it was really beautiful as well. I know, I have noisy neighbors. Mahal's turning around surprised. But those of you who've been listening for a long time, you know.
Okay, as if I haven't.
I mean, it's starting to sound like you haven't, because why are you surprised? You should be familiar with these sounds. If anything, you'd be like, oh yeah, episode 3. These bitches were also moving in and out. But yeah, what are your thoughts? Would you recommend it? Would you add it to like your list of like must-watch thrillers? Like, you know, where does it rank for you?
I would say that I liked it mainly because of like I feel like the Scream brand has sort of been forced to continue now. So like it is a nice little new thing in the sense of like, okay, it's Scream, but like Scream in a different way. You know? As well as you can tell that it doesn't take itself as seriously, but it still tries to be somewhat serious. You know what I mean? With the guy who gets his neck slit, but then he's like running all over the mall like a headless chicken, but he still has his head on in the beginning. And I was just like, that was so unnecessary for us to see.
Yeah.
So it's like stuff like that. I was just like, okay. And the way that like some of the deaths were and like the effects for the death, I could just tell I was like, okay, this is not supposed to be gruesome. It's also supposed to be kind of like funny in some cases.
Shock horror.
Yeah, shock horror. And all that. So I feel like, yeah, I did like it because it was basically Scream, but take itself a little less seriously. Except for the killer, though. Damn, that man stood on business. He had shit to do. Killed people so swiftly.
The lady in the full chicken pose, that was low-key hilarious.
Bruh.
Because that's also a sex position, you know? And like, imagine the next time your squeeze is like, yeah, and then just puts themselves in that position.
Oh, that's gonna give flashbacks.
Exactly.
Horrors.
Like the husband, whoever he decides to date moving forward, and homegirl thinks she's being cute, putting her legs in the air like she just doesn't care. There he is, he starts vomiting and convulsing and crying in the corner. And she's just like, wow, does my vagina smell that bad? You know what I mean? And he's just like, get away from me. Get away from me. She's like, but Kinsey, you're trying to look cute here. I thought you like it like this. I thought you like it like this. Easy access, not bad on the back. I have my ankles up here for you to rest. You know what I mean?
And I just couldn't tell.
I just got a Brazilian wax, and I wanted to show you that they really do get you from the rooter to the tutor. And Home Slice is having a PTSD reaction to Homegirl just trying to share her day.
Flashbacks to Vietnam.
Fam. Imagine just even the thought of like roast pork, because they say that like human flesh is like pork.
Mm.
So just the smell. Christmas time must be the worst time.
Gammon. Oh.
Just a little young yamming situation, a young roasted ham.
Mm.
And there he is thinking, Angelina. Because you remember he took a bite. He was forced to take a bite.
Was he?
Have you squeezed? Yes.
I remember that the
Home Slice carved a slice for him.
Yeah. I thought that was it, and he just refused to eat it.
Oh, I don't know, actually. Now that I think about it, I don't know.
And then the daughter got free, and then freed the black guy, which props for having the black guy survive.
Oh my gosh, the black guy survives in this movie. The black guy also... You know what? I don't want to get into it.
It's nice that he survived, but you are an issue of a character.
No, the hero situation was a bit extra.
Oh.
And I also don't like... It's weird, you know?
Oh, but his girlfriend's death was gruesome.
Oh, yeah, shame.
Chopped fingers.
His girlfriend's death, and then he's there holding her guts together, saying, what do I do? What do I do? Let go. Or like, get zip ties. Just, but holding her
It's not doing
like
anything.
that, it's not helping. Because you're trying to gather the guts, but also she's bleeding everywhere and she's slipping out of your hands. So now her large intestine is by her throat. You're pulling it out more than if you had just left it to lie on the ground. Basic first aid. And I feel like if you want to be a hero, you should at least have that under your belt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because during the stampede, he covered her. He was there, covering her, planking for ages to protect his little snow bunny. But now...
Who's Russian mafia?
I mean, that's another thing. Because why wasn't she packing heat? Surely she has a gun in there somewhere. Doesn't her dad give her one with her lunch?
Snatched her quickly, but can't give a gun?
Anyway, that's neither here nor there. The point is, if you want to be a hero, lesson for the day. If you want to be a hero, at least get first aid under your belt. But yeah, okay. Now that you say what you said, I appreciate the movie for what it is. Instead of, I was gonna give it a really low score
Understandable.
for what it wasn't.
Oh.
Do you get what I mean?
It wasn't a horror.
But also, it's called Thanksgiving. It's a holiday movie.
Yeah.
And usually movies around this time are supposed to be lighthearted and something, fun for the family. And I could definitely see us all chilling, mommy, daddy, me, you, Lagato, Kwezi, the whole fam. Chilling, watching this movie, and finding something to enjoy. You feel me?
Well, I feel like the three of us might find something to
Obviously,
enjoy.
not. We have to do it after everyone has eaten and they've forgotten. Like, once mommy and daddy are drinking tea, it can't be during a meal because obviously daddy's going to be upset. We're like, oh, sis Raja, And then mommy also, after the tea, mommy will be a little more sleepy. So she won't be trying to, say, oh, the Achilles tendon is cut or that's, biologically impossible or whatever. Do you get what I mean?
Sure.
So we just need to get them at the right time where they can just enjoy it for what it is. But yeah, I think I would have, because now that I think about it, for it being a holiday movie and the fact that for those of us who are tired of watching the same cheesy ass Hallmark movies where homegirl lives in the big city, comes back home for Christmas and, finds love in a local guy who... works on the farm. Let him chop wood.
No, he either chops wood, trains horses, or helps the kids.
Oh, yeah.
Or does all three.
Obviously.
Or owns a hotel.
Because he works at a farm that does therapy for autistic children, animal therapy for autistic children, and what's the other one?
Chops wood. So he.
Obviously, he has to chop wood because it's a farm.
Okay.
So he's going to be there, chopping wood with one hand while instructing an autistic child on a horse with the other.
While being shirtless, like.
Obviously. Obviously. Because the one, it's a half jacket. So half is that lumberjack cross, the red with the lines.
Yeah.
What's it called?
I forgot the style was called, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The lumberjack fit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's definitely got Timberlands and jeans.
Somehow got Timberlands and jeans on a town budget.
Yeah, because he offers the service for free, mind you.
Oh, of course.
Obviously.
During Christmas months.
Yeah. Where
he gets a profit, we don't know.
No, because we know he has an OnlyFans. But that's not discussed. Those scenes don't make it to the final cut of the movie.
Can't talk about the
but
child.
There is a scene. There is a scene of one of the kids from the orphanage, excitedly bursting into his room to show him his school report, only to find him covered in baby oil in front of the camera. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. The point is, I get tired of the Christmas movies.
It gets really boring.
The Grinch and the this and the that.
Especially ones that specifically have to end with a overly joyous happy ending. Like the Grinch, heart growing.
The moral of the story is that family is forever.
Family is forever. People are important. Community is special.
Oh my gosh.
Oh goodness. The very same community that has the two grannies in the corner gossiping about everybody. Who I find out about this man's OnlyFans from.
Can we please discuss the creepy uncle?
Oh,
when are we going to disinvite this guy? You know what I mean? Yeah. Is Christmas really the time for cheer? Or is it the time to be clutching your pearls and being on high alert and grinning and bearing it? White knuckling it through the festives. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. The point is, it's nice that there is a movie for us to watch, for the youngins who would otherwise go for a walk, and come back stoned out of their mind or whatever. That same sort of group can appreciate a nice, little spooky situation. Not so spooky that you can't go to bed and now the plants in the corner of the room are starting to look like people coming to kill you. But yeah, so for what it is, I appreciate it and I like it. So for what it is, I'm giving it a 3 out of 5 because even if it is a Christmas movie,
Thanksgiving.
I mean, it is a Thanksgiving, a holiday movie in the sense that that girl and that guy and that girl.
Which girl?
That girl whose boyfriend had the hand that was doing the kwasa.
Oh, goodness. And the creepy boyfriend that she decided to have afterwards.
The boyfriend that she dated afterwards, who then just disappeared and then miraculously appeared at the end of the movie.
And he appeared in such a specific way.
Wearing the same clothes.
Dude.
Anyway, we're not going to discuss that because honestly, he's the real murderer of this movie and you're not going to tell me otherwise.
Honestly.
But...
Oh, the way you pushed off that jacket just to hug her. Such a fucking...
He's so petty. He's so petty in the most delicious ways. Especially when he came across the street and then kissed homegirl on the shoulder.
Hey, babe.
I'm kissing her and hey, babe. And then he looks home slice up and down. He's like, you ready to go?
Oh, no, isn't it he said something along the lines of pretty lacking in that area. And looks him up and down. Is like, so what's up with you?
Imagine. Oh, welcome back to town.
I'll slap your hands on your head.
As you can see, we've been doing well. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Yeah, so now that I actually think about it more, the movie wasn't so bad. Still 3 out of 5 because I can. Okay? I don't feel, regardless of what it is, and me trying to appreciate it, it should just be grateful that it has a 3 out of 5 because I would have given it a 1.5. And had it not been for Mahal and his altruism, it would have stayed there. So now Mahal saying, King, let's not judge a fish for its inability to climb a tree. I'm saying, okay, cool. I'm going to judge you as a fish. But still, you're not the big fish here. Okay? So you're getting a 3 out of 5. What's your score?
I give it a 4.
Oh,
The generosity is real.
you
It's
really are
Christmas
generous.
season.
No, it is Christmas.
No,
It's
mainly
Christmas.
because okay, the reason why it's not a 4.5, and maybe the reason why it's also not a 3.5 is because I did like it. I'm not gonna lie. Like, as much as it had its like moments that just really confused. It had those moments where like it kind of confused of what the theme was. Was it a comedy? Was it a horror? Was it a dark comedy? You know, which I felt it was a dark comedy at first, especially with the whole. Okay. Especially with the whole Thanksgiving, not Thanksgiving, Black Friday aspect. I thought it was gonna be like a dark comedy on that,
Yeah.
and kind of not wasn't.
Yeah, that's the thing. It lost out on a great opportunity to make a comment on, like,
Greed.
yeah, just greed across the board, and consumerism and conspicuous consumption and all of that stuff.
And capitalistic culture.
But instead, it was just
I'm killing people because you
Fam.
killed my pregnant side piece.
another tale of the side piece taking it too far. That's basically what it is. A side piece taking things too far.
Okay, with that
That's it.
would that be the case? I guess it's a 3.5.
That's literally what it is. That's literally what it is. You can set it in any situation. Christmas, Valentine's, whatever. Like, if it has to be a holiday movie, sure. But what is it really? A side piece showing up to the funeral crying harder than the wife. That's basically what it is. We know the story.
Although the sizing was very inconsistent of the person.
Because
we thought it was like a shorter woman.
So small. Yeah, the body was so small when they were in the thing, which just shows probably a stunt double did those scenes, because the new boyfriend of that girl, the sassy new boyfriend, he fits the frame
But
of.
he's too tall.
Yeah, but the point is, Mahal, it's not McMuffin top.
Oh, yeah, true.
That's my thing. The frame of that McMuffin top is not that slender.
He has shoulders.
He really does have shoulders, and that's what makes him what's his name?
I don't know, you said muffin top.
McDreamy.
Oh.
McDreamy. And because he has nice hair. Never
Dude.
seen him in a Head and Shoulders ad. I don't know why he didn't capitalize on all that good hair, but maybe he did. I just don't watch TV. But the point is, we've gone off the rails here, and we're also over time.
Okay, my point it was basically now a 3.5. It's good. I liked everything about the movie. I think it would have just been better if maybe the ending, it wasn't. You don't find out that it's that guy. Maybe you find out it was, like we had thought at first, or you had thought at first, the guy who was trampled on door.
That he didn't really die or something.
Because at some point somebody commented saying he's still alive. So it would have been, I think, better if it was him, because it still connects both sides.
Yes.
While making him the victim of the story.
And the frame.
Gets revenge.
His body size would fit also.
True.
Ugh. Anyway, we're being too much of detectives here when it was supposed to be a feel-good movie, I guess, with cheerleaders also getting cut up.
I mean, I did like the whole the gruesome aspects were very quick.
Yeah, they really did pump through those murders real fast.
He said, "I'm here to kill you. I'm not here to play with you."
And how heavy are those dumpster lids, Mohau?
Dude, you got tapped on the back and you got slit in half.
In half.
Zero.
I don't trust that. But again, these things are not supposed to follow science. It's supposed to be a good time.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna
and
trust
did you have a good time?
Yeah.
Case closed. Job well done. Alrighty. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Yep. That wraps up this week's episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. And if you have seen the movie, did you like it? Did it scratch the itch that you wanted it to scratch? And I guess it depends on what your expectations were. So that also is another question. What were you expecting when you were coming into the movie, and did it meet your expectations or not? And if you haven't seen the movie, what do you think about horrors in general and thrillers? Do you think that they count as good cinema? Because you oftentimes find that horror movies are kind of left in their own little category. People aren't really being nominated for Oscars in horror movies, It is very rare. Obviously, what's that other one? Stay Quiet. The one where there was a deaf girl and the guy from The Office and Emily Blunt. I really need to get better at remembering people's names and stuff, or just the names of anything, really. But yeah, that was a really good horror movie, and what's his name? Jordan Peele is really putting horror movies back into the mainstream. But in general, as horror movie lovers, we know that, our shit's kind of, hidden in the back aisle somewhere and never really considered as proper cinema. Do you get what I mean? So I guess my question is, one, do you agree that horror movies are as predictable as romances, and therefore don't really require that much storytelling or any sort of, depth for them to be considered entertaining? And that, much like with romances, because the formula is so set, that there's often not much of a story that's being told either, because I disagree. I think that there are really good horror movies that speak to society and can comment on the human condition, and that there's a service that's being rendered with horror movies in the same way that romances provide a particular service to people, right? They allow you to fantasize and dream of, this Prince Charming, and you get to sort of export a lot of this emotional energy that you might have that is misplaced in other areas of your life. You get to sort of put it all into the characters and live vicariously through them, watch them make the silly decisions and recover, and feel soothed by the fact that maybe for you too, you can fumble and still find love. And that maybe horrors provide the same service as well, that you can find yourself in precarious situations, that you can face the monster hiding under your bed and come out okay, So I don't know. I think that there is something to be said for horror movies, but do you think that they deserve to sit shoulder to shoulder with, these wonderful movies that win Oscars and stuff like that, dramas and stuff like that, action movies, and I don't know. Anyway, that's that from us this week, and we will see you next week with the next movie. Goodbye.